So, do you want to see the most ridiculous weapon available at 76 that's exceptionally powerful, but basically a complete gimmick at the same time? Well, this is the PTS. So, spoilers ahead, click away if you don't want to see, but let's take a look. So, the Thirst Zapper, basically a water gun that can't even short circuit a robot if it tried. It comes with a very particular set of mods, and that is Nukacade to the rescue. And we have three options: regular, cherry, and quantum. And yeah, quantum adds quite a bit of explosive damage. So the first thing that popped into my mind was, can I one-shot a behemoth with this weapon? And that led me down a road that took far too much time, but it was worth it. Now, even on an anti-armor roll here, we are sitting at over 1,000 damage, and we are going to try Bloodied later for that behemoth test. Of course, this being the PTS, it's not really working with all the perk cards. It might be bugged in a similar way to how the chainsaw was, missing keywords, which enables it to work with certain perk cards. A legendary roll-in on this, you can't get any VATS critical or VAT stuff. It's very limited. In the first star, you can have pretty much all of the effects, but the other second and third stars are very tiny pool of the legendary effects, and you can't even build up its crit meter normally using it in VATS, and it's only level 1. But even so, even all of those handicaps, it is still ridiculously good. But my ultimate question was that one-shot behemoth. But all of these regular enemies here, one-shot easy if they're grouped together, multi-kill one-shot. Super mutants, robots, really no issues at all there anywhere. Now, the biggest thing with this is the ammo. So it is really expensive to keep this thing fed. Crafting for this requires 1 Nuka-Cola per bullet basically, and then a whole bunch of other materials like gold or silver or copper, depending on which one you're going for, whether it's regular, cherry, or quantum. Or you can go and get this from the Nukacade with points, but you get like 6 bullets in, and it's also ridiculously expensive for like 6,000 Nukacade points. So definitely not something that's easy to keep fed, hence it's more of a gimmick, but still really fun and powerful to use. Now, it does work with a couple of things like Demolition Expert and Grenadier. Explosive Bobblehead also seemed to work. But the stuff like Gunslinger doesn't, Covert Op doesn't, Tank Killer doesn't, so you're missing out on the armor penetration there, and that's where the rabbit hole began for me. So with the first attempt on the behemoth here, we missed the first shot, but we still got a little bit of damage, and then we hit for over 4k, which was more than enough to one-shot the behemoth. So then I wasn't sure if Covert Op was working, but just not displaying, that it was doing the sneak damage. So then I took both Covert Op and follow through off and tested that. So then I tested a bunch of times with Covert Op off, with follow through off, with Covert Op on, with follow through on, individually and both together. And I got a baseline of 2k on the first shot and then 4k on the second shot. So Covert Op not making a difference, whereas follow through did seem to be making a difference on that follow up shot. But of course, for follow through to activate, you need to get the first shot on to actually tag the enemy, and then it activates. So we're losing out on the sneak damage from, Covert Op. We're losing out on the VATS critical hit. So we can't take advantage of a lot of the foods and the buffs. We can't take advantage of the VATS critical legendary effect. So we're losing out on a whole bunch of damage there. And of course, VATS critical hits completely ignore the resistance. So not ideal when you're trying to one-shot a behemoth, but if we can get 4k on a shot, we can still do it even though all of that is working against us. So I popped an explosive bobblehead, I popped Psycho Tats, and a magazine which buffs our damage against super mutants by 15%. I was just trying a whole bunch of stuff at this point, just to see if we can get that 4k shot from our Thirst Zapper on that first shot, but I kept on just getting the 2k no matter what. So then I was like, okay, let me try something else. So I took my fixer. So I shot the behemoth to not deal a massive amount of damage, but just to actually activate, follow through, and then swapped to Thirst Zapper, and boom, 4k kill shot. So definitely follow through working. Now, if we can just get Bethesda to add the keywords of, like pistol and silent, so that it starts, you know, working with all of the perk cards that it should, if we can get VATS critical rolls on it, and then using the VATS critical buffs from the magazines and the food and those perk cards as well, then I think we can definitely get a 1-kill shot on the behemoth straight off the bat with the Thirst Zapper, and not having to use something else, you know, first tag it and then swap. But either way, ridiculously strong, super fun to use. I spent far too much time on this, but if you enjoyed, then hey, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, stick around for more Fallout content. As always, massive thank you to the channel members for their support, and I don't really advertise this, but there is a Discord as well if you want to join that. Kind of quiet over there because I never really talk about it, but hey, it's there if you want to join it. But for now, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.